Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully I have this on right. So, there. All right, I've been running around because I got a couple of boxes in today. So if you have outstanding orders, there's a good chance that I will be processing your order this week and getting it shipped out to you. I had my Japanese box came, and also my box from Kiriki in Canada came, and I'm really excited about that. So here's the deal. If you missed out on getting one of the super cool star maps the first go around, I did order 4 more, just 4 more kits. We have these in stock, in hand, ready to go out. So if you did not get one of these and you really wanted one, now's your chance, because I've got 4 of them in stock. These would make an absolutely lovely Christmas gift for the stitchy person in your life, just mentioning. If they like embroidery, this is a really fun kit. And it's gorgeous. It looks beautiful when it's all done up. So I have 4 of these. Anyway, so yeah, so those came. And then, hey, Cheryl. And then, of course, as part of that, I have so much stuff on the table to show you guys today. One of the other things that came was all of the fun ornament kits. Because, you know, I love these things, right? I made one of these last week. Look at all the fun ornament kits. There's so many of them. There's a star and the dollar horse. And let's see. Here's the gingerbread house. I like that one too. The cute little birdie. The gingerbread man. Or person. It's kind of a gingerbread person. There's the snowflake. It's the same one. There's the mitten. Let's see. There's this super pretty, like, geometric ornament. And then we have, of course, the traditional ornament. And my child's favorite, a heart. She loves the hearts. She saw these. She really wants to make some. So I'm going to let her pick at least one kit, and maybe we will make it together live. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I thought, oh my god, I got to show you guys that the ornament kits came. So excited about the ornament kits. I know it's a silly thing to be excited about, but I totally am. Like, I love these little ornaments. They look really, really cute when they're all done up. And it's a great little, like, these are a nice size to slip in a stocking or to ship to somebody because they're small and lightweight. So they make great gifts. And if you're in Canada, I do recommend purchasing these directly from Kiriki Press. But if you happen to be in the States, hey, we already have them. They're in stock. They're ready to go out. So anyway, thought I'd talk about that a little bit as well. And then the other box that came today, like, I got all the boxes today. The other box that came today was the Japanese box, and I thought it would be really fun to take a look at the Clover Mini Loom Kit. So this week we're doing sewing because I missed it last week because I had to move it around. But next week we are going to play with the Clover Mini Loom Kit, and we are going to do a little bit of weaving. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So I will probably, like, do a little unpackaging video separate from the actual live so that I can get it out and get it set up and kind of go through all of that. But Mini Loom Kit. I only got a couple of these in, but if you want them, I can get these in from my supplier in Japan pretty quickly, and I'm already out of things again, so I'm already building yet another order to ship off to Japan. So if you missed out on something and you really want it, just let me know, because I'm getting these in. I brought in a little more thread. You guys know that I love this Olympus Special Gold number 40. And they had it in colors, just little 10-gram color balls. So I got just one box to play with, just one, because I really love this stuff. So I'm just kind of making sure that the colors are as good as the great big ball of white, but I have every confidence that they will be. So I'm gonna test this out, and we might bring in this as well because we like it that much. Or I like it that much. I bring in stuff for Tina, she brings in stuff for me. It's all good in the end. But anyway, so today, let's see, what do I need to remind you about? We are almost done with our year of self-care, so make sure that you have posted to social media. Tomorrow's the last day to get your November entry in, and remember this month was all about being thankful, but you know, next month we're doing sparkly stuff, blingy stuff, so you know. And remember, we don't really care what you're working on, it all counts. I managed to get my quilt, my second quilt, bound last night, so we'll be talking about binding quilts and sewing and random stuff on Wednesday when we have our sewing day. And I'll show you the quilt that I got done, and we'll talk about the mistakes that I made, because that's always the fun part, right? Talking about all the mistakes that I've made and what I learned since then. So anyway, I made my coffee in my Year of Self-Care mug. So we're almost done with Year of Self-Care. Do make sure that you are using that hashtag BSFE or hashtag Black Sheep Fiber Emporium so that you can get entered in our monthly contest. And then next year, so many things going on. Next year, we are starting our blanket along, which we are doing with the Pearly Shell Pirates. My friends Heather and Danielle from the Pearly Shell Pirates. We're doing a really fun blanket along. It's kind of a choose your own adventure story. So you can knit, you can crochet, you can make it a temperature blanket. You don't have to. We're going to have some free patterns from Black Sheep. We're finding some more free patterns to share. You can pick your own palette. We're going to have some like very basic guidelines that I've posted to our blacksheepfiberemporium.com webpage, as well as our Black Sheep and Pearly Shell Pirates blanket along group on Facebook. You can join that. If you're not a Facebook person, that's totally fine. We will still be putting up information on the Instagram page, the Instagram channel, as well as talking about it on YouTube, on our Facebook Lives, and I'll probably talk about it on TikTok too. So, you know, there's all kinds of fun things going on there. So that's kind of a preview of some things that are coming up, some things that we're finishing up, and my coffee's kind of nice today. It's like right at around 60 degrees here. So it's like just warm enough to be outside in a t-shirt for a little while, but by the time I get done with our video, I will be ready to go in. Anyway, today we are talking about lace, and specifically I want to talk about Estonian lace. Estonian lace is one of my very favorite lace traditions. I love the way that they use innovative stitches in their designs. I love the way that they use cables. I like wrap stitches. I love how they use Nupps. Not nup like sup, it's noop like soup. That's how you remember. And yes, if you don't like Nupps, you can always put in beads if you really want to. But I love Nupps. I'm going to show you how to make a Nupp today, the easy way. I know you guys might laugh at that, but there really are just some tiny little tips and tricks that will help you when you're making your Nupps. So I'm going to cast on and show you how to do that with lace weight even today. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit more about just kind of lace in general, the Estonian lace tradition. You may wonder, you know, Kelly, why are you qualified to talk about lace? Well, that's an excellent question. I have been a pattern designer for, let's see, 10 years now? Like 10 years. Maybe a little bit longer than that. And I have designed a lot of lace. I have knit a lot of lace. I have won awards with my lace at the Indiana State Fair and some of the county fairs, and I love lace. I love lace. I've done a lot of research on lace, and I have even written, some booklets about lace. So I have the If You Can Knit, You Can Knit Lace, which is my beginner's lace book. I have the Lace Knitting Beyond the Basics, which is my intermediate lace book. I do a Not Just Wool knitting lace in mini fibers class, and then I also do a beginning Estonian lace class, and I am going to be expanding these. If you didn't know this, when you take a class from me, usually I design a really fun little booklet to go with your class. So for example, I've also done this one, which was about raising Angora rabbits. And then I'm still working on this one, but this is the beginning of my Mediterranean knotted lace booklet. Clearly it doesn't have the big pretty picture on the front yet because I'm working on that. But if you didn't know that, when you take a class from me, usually you go home with a really nice booklet full of all of my best tips and tricks, as well as whatever diagrams and information I can give you. And I am teaching an Estonian lace class in California with the Winter Lace Conference in Costa Mesa, February 18th through 21st. The 18th, I'm teaching Mediterranean knotted lace. The 19th and 20th, we are going to be focusing on Estonian lace. And then the 21st, I'm teaching a special class in that not just wool for lace knitting. So we'll be exploring lots of different fibers. Well, there will be some wool there too, but we're going to explore lots of different fibers used in lace knitting and how to choose which one is best suited for your project. I also wrote a whole book of lace called Froth and Foam, and this is my book with 17 patterns. 17 patterns in one book. Some of my most popular lace patterns at the time. I've now written more. That focus on everything from really beginner patterns all the way up to very advanced patterns. And I do have a lot of Estonian stitches in here because I adore the Estonian lace tradition. I think it is, it's my favorite lace tradition. Not that I don't appreciate the others, but it's my favorite lace tradition. It's the one that I fall back on most when I am designing lace patterns. These are the books that I go to. I love this one. This is the Hopsolu Shawl. We do still have a couple of copies of this if you haven't picked one up yet. This is a fabulous book. It's full of gigantic photos and charts. Big pretty photos, big pretty charts. And then we have, we're sold out of most of our lace books. I'll have to see if I can get them back again, but we do still have a few of this one left. This is the newest Estonian lace book to come out of Estonia. This is the Siri Rotted 2. And again, these are big books. They aren't really project books. They are books that give you the pieces to make your own charted designs. God, they're gorgeous books, and I love them. Like, really, I love them. They're my favorite books. They're the books that I go to on my bookshelf all the time when I am designing for lace. And if you recall, over the summer, we did a water lily shawl. I gotta turn my book over again. And I re-knit my water lily shawl, which is made with 2 Estonian lace patterns. So I re-knit this in the lovely handmaiden sea silk. Look at that blow in the wind. Gotta love lace. Isn't it pretty? But one of the things that I really, really love about Estonian lace are these super fun stitches and the gathers that they do. So they do 3 into 9s and 3 into 6s, and they do little twisted stitches, and they have all kinds of fun things. And then I also love nukes. So, having said all of that, I do have some handmaiden silk lace. I will tell you that if you're planning to knit lace, it's a really good idea to have a lot of stitch markers on hand. I find that that is one of my biggest things. If you're going to knit lace, you need stitch markers, and these are my favorite. Let's see if I can get that to. These are just some little round stitch markers that we carry at Black Sheep. It's like $2.50 a dozen. They're just little textured stitch markers that we absolutely love. I probably have 500 of them. A lot of them are probably under my couch. And I do periodically go check under my couch and in the under the seat of my chair that I like to sit in and look for my stitch markers. But that's a really important thing to have. Lots of stitch markers. I like to have a little tin or a little bag with lots of stitch markers in it. Sharp scissors are always helpful. I like to have different kinds of stitch markers, so I use locking stitch markers. I use pretty stitch markers because I just like them, so I use all those. Anyway, so let's look at how to do Nupps today. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can grab, sure, I can grab some 2s. 2s are good enough. So usually when I do lace, I do it anywhere from 2 to 4s. If I'm using a heavier yarn, like this one, because this was more of a light fingering or a heavy lace, then I will go ahead and use something along the lines of like a 4. If it's sock weight yarn, I've even been known to go up to like a 6, because you really want your lace to be open. That is a key piece of having nice lace, is that your lace needs to be open. So you do have to use a much larger needle than you would use to get a nice solid fabric. Because again, we're making lace, we want holes, we want it to be big, we want it to be open. So I really love the Haya Sharps, as well as the signatures. I keep my signatures in here. For my lace knitting, because I like the sharp pointy tips. If you are looking at the signatures, I think the 1s and 2s come in a fixed Yes, they come in a fixed cable, whereas 3s and above come in the interchangeable cables. And we are talking about putting in just one more tiny order. I'm not sure that we're going to carry the signatures in store for much longer. Just they haven't been selling as well for us, even though we absolutely adore them. So I think that we're going to kind of ramp down our signature stash. But we have a giant stash of Hiya Hiya and the Chalgu red lace. Those are also very nice for lace. They have nice sharp pointy tips, and that is a really important feature when you are going to make lace. Okay, let's talk Nupps. Nupps are super cool. They are basically tiny baubles. That's all they really are. There's a couple of different ways to make them. One is that you make all of your increases on your stitches, and you go ahead and then turn your work and immediately gather them all together, which is very similar to a bobble. The other way that you can make your stitches or make your Nupps is to make all of your Nupp stitches on one side and then do all of the gathering on the back side. So I'm just casting on a few quick stitches, long tail here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll just do 14. We don't need a ton of stitches on here. So I'm just going to knit a row and purl a row so that we've got a little something to hold on to. And I'm going to flip the camera down and we will take a look at the two different ways that you can do Nupp stitches. Now, there are 5-stitch Nupps, 7-stitch Nupps, 9-stitch Nupps. Clearly, the 7 and the 9 are going to use more yarn than the 5. They are always made by a knit one, yarn over, knit one. So it always ends and starts with a knit one, so that there we go. So that your stitches can be locked into the mother stitch. That's what I like to think of it as. It's the mother stitch. It's the stitch that holds all of your increase stitches. So hang on, I'm on a 16. I should have grabbed a 24. Yeah, a 16-inch needle is a little bit harder to wrangle for lace, by the way. It's not impossible, it's just a little harder. So it does, however, feel good to be back on tiny needles, because I have to say I've been knitting with like 6s and my hands were really starting to hurt. And I don't know if that was because, you know, I'm not used to the worsted weight anymore or what's going on. All right, so I've got just a little base. I just did one knit row, one purl row, just cast on 14 little stitches. And, you know, if you're watching this again, you're welcome to join me. And hang on while I turn you guys. All right, let's see. Which way is my camera? This way. Okay. Let me get this ready. Okie dokie. So, this, by the way, is a really handy little thing. It's just a little tiny clip that we use for keeping the tail of our yarn on our ball if we have it wound. So, anyway, very handy for that. Let me find my working yarn. Maybe. Oh, it's very windy here now. It's really pleasant when I set all this up. And it got really windy. All right, here we go. So to make our Nupp, we're going to take our working yarn, and I am just going to, let's see, knit. All right, to make a 5-stitch Nupp, you're going to knit one, loosely, yarn over, knit in the same stitch again. That's 3 stitches, yarn over, loosely. There we go, 5 stitches. That right there is a little 5-stitch Nupp waiting to be finished. Now you have 2 options at this point. You can turn your work around and either purl 5 together or knit 5 together. It's up to you, just like this, and pop it off. And keep working. Or you can, let's do a 7-stitch Nupp this time. Knit one, yarn over, loosely is the key here, 3, 4, 5, yarn over again, 6, loosely, that's the key to these, 7. All right, and now we will work them on the back side when we come back to them. Let's do a 9-stitch Noop here. Ready? 1, loosely, yarn over, knit again, 3, yarn overs 4, 5, loosely 6, 7, loosely 8, and 9. Now, the other way that you can work these is when you approach them again on the wrong side, you can purl them together. So, 1, hang on, 2, 3, my camera's not focusing very well, there we go. 4, I'm also having trouble purling with the 16 in front of my camera. I should have picked a 24. Alright, now here's the key to this. This one we know is a 9-stitch Noop. So you have to make sure that you get all 9 of these stitches on your needle. So sometimes what I do is I pull out the base of my stitches just a little bit. I should have made them even looser than I did for a really good 9-stitch Noop. There we go. So my needle tip is all the way through the base of all of them. Uh-oh! Yeah, should have made them even looser. The 16-inch cable's getting to me. There we go. Alright, that should have gathered up all 9 of those stitches at once. So all 9 of those stitches at the same time. Now, go do the 7. Alright, here we go. This is the 7 stitch. Hopefully this one's a little bit looser. This, though, is why sharp needle tips are important. Also, don't use the 16-inch cable when you're doing this. Hold everything too tight. There we go. That's the 7. Okay. And then here's the Noop that we've already gathered. There we go. So those are the 2 ways that you make your Noops. So there's the 5, the 7, and the 9-stitch Noop. And you can see that the 9-stitch Noop is definitely bigger and fluffier than the 7 or the 5. It's 5, 7, 9. You can also see that by gathering right after you have made your Noop, that I don't think it looks quite as good. I like the look of it when it's been gathered in line with the other stitches. And I can also tell you that it's just really important as you are making your Noops. Let's go do another set. That you do it really loose. Let's do it really loose this time. 4, 5. Let's do 7-stitch Noops. 7s are my favorite. They've got enough heft to them to look nice, but okay, ready? So knit 1 real loose, yarn over, really loose, yarn over, really loose, yarn over, really loose. So that's a 7-stitch again. And you want to do them loose so that it's easier to stick the tip of your needle into the base of your stitch. Hang on. There we are, back at the end of the row. So there's our 2 little 7-stitch Noops. Let's see if I did a better job at making them nice and loose. It's really the key. Noops do use quite a bit of yarn, so if you are trying to save yarn in a pattern, you can replace a 7-stitch with a 5-stitch Noop, or you can choose to replace the Noop entirely with a bead. So hang on here. Oh yes, I can already tell this one's better. So, this is why sharp needles and loose stitches are really important to making Noops. Oops, sorry. There we go. So there we go. That was a purl 7 together to make that Noop. You can see it's nice and fluffy. Nice and fluffy. We want fluffy Noops. And yes, I do purl a little bit funny. If you haven't been here before, you may not know that I use my thumb, which is a method of Portuguese purling that I didn't know. I just sort of taught myself to knit. There, that one was really nice. Nice and loose and easy to grab. So there we go. Noop and a noop noop. Noop like soup. Alright, there we go. So this one, we'll cover this all again. This one was the 5-stitch, 7-stitch, 9-stitch Noop. And then here we've got the 7 stitches again. And the 5-stitch one, remember, we used the method where I did the increases to make the Noop stitch, turned it around, and purled it together, and then continued forward. With these guys, I've just purled them in line. And like I said, I really like the look of the ones that have just been purled together on the back side, or you could knit together on the back side as well if you're using a garter base versus a stockinette base. Although I much prefer the stockinette base. But there we go. Easy Noops. They're really not that hard. The key part is nice sharp needles and to make your stitches nice and loose so that it's easy to get your needle tip into the base so that you can do your gathering on your Noops. Alright. Does anybody have questions about Estonian lace while we're here? Let's bring this up. There we go. Because I'm happy to answer them if you have a question. I really love Estonian lace. I think it's a lot of fun. I love all of the books that have been published from Estonia. I do need to go look and see if they've got any more new ones coming out because I love books. Love books. And you know when we have new ones that I always do pre-orders so you can get a little discount if you pre-order it. Just saying. Oh, hang on. The ducks escaped their pen today because the pond is so low that they slipped under the fence. But my problem duck that used to lead everyone astray, in other words, straight towards the road, I sold. So this younger batch of ducks and the old silver one, she's only a year old, she's not that old, but the old silver one, have been much better about staying in the backyard when they escape. I'm like, stay with the pond! Don't go towards the road! That was a disaster last time. Anyway. Alright. So if you have any more questions about Estonian lace, you can always email me. Remember, I'm Kelli with an I at blacksheep.com. That's Kelli at blacksheep@arenco.com. You can also find my email on our website, or you can always drop a comment on Facebook or message us through there, and one of us will try to answer. Tina knows a lot about Estonian lace as well because I love it so much that I made sure she knows all about it too. What can I say? We like to share our crafts. I need to get into the sashiko more because I have my bunny. I haven't done my bunny yet. Oh, maybe next month we'll have to do a sashiko thing so I can finally start that bunny kit. There's an idea. All right. So, remember Wednesday we'll be back. We're going to do some more sewing. We'll be downstairs. I'm going to talk a little bit about quilt binding because that's what I've been doing. And also putting together my quilts. And then next week, on Monday, we will be doing, I think we're back to Mediterranean knotted lace. And then on Wednesday, I want to do a special weaving with the Clover mini loom because I think it'll be super fun. So you can look forward to that next week. Remember, if you have ordered anything from the website recently and it hasn't shipped yet, it should be shipping this week. All of my boxes are coming in so that I can get that out. What else do I need to tell you guys? I don't know. The holidays are coming up. We're almost to the end of the year with our year of self-care, but I'm really looking forward to the blanket along, and I hope that you are too. Even if you don't want to knit a blanket or crochet one, you are so welcome to join the Facebook group and hang out with us and chat. We love that. Like, we don't mind that at all. So even if you don't want to knit a blanket, come join the group, hang out, see what we have going on, just for fun. Let's see. What else do I need to tell you guys? I don't know. I think that's most of it. I hope that you enjoyed my little lesson on Nupps. And if you are looking for one of the Estonian books and you don't see it up on the website, let me know. And I will check my supplier and see what I can get for you. I know some of them are definitely out of print. So don't get your hopes up too high, but I'm always happy to check to see what we can get for you. And again, I'm going to have to order more stuff from Japan because I'm already out. You guys have been awesome about letting me know what you want with the pre-orders. Sometimes I just don't bring in quite enough. What can I say? I think that we're going to try and do a stitched ornament as well again, only I'm going to get Ina involved. So I'll put that link up. We'll probably do it just a little bit earlier because she's been doing a nap about 2:30. But we'll do a special day on one of my regular days where it's a Stitch with Ina day, and we'll crack out one of those kits and have a little bit of fun with that. One of the Kariki Press ornament kits. Just remember, great stocking stuffers, and I have several in hand. So I'm happy to ship them out if you want to, you know, go do a little bit of shopping, especially late night shopping. I had trouble sleeping last night because I was up late binding the quilt, and then Ina couldn't sleep, and then she was snotty, and then she was snoring, and so anyway, I am a little bit wired on coffee today, but that's all right. All right, guys. At least you kind of know what's coming up in the future. I hope that you'll keep joining me for my live videos. If you don't catch them live, remember I always put them up on YouTube. Make sure that you have followed the Black Sheep Fiber Emporium page, that you are following or have subscribed to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss an update. You can also follow us on Instagram and on TikTok, because I do occasionally remember to put up videos on TikTok. Occasionally. So anyway, I hope that I will see you guys again on Wednesday for my super fun sewing live video. But until then, as I always say, do take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and craftually. Make sure you're doing just a little bit of crafting every day, and don't forget to take a picture of it, because we are still running our Year of Self-Care drawings for the month of November and December, and all you have to do is craft and hashtag BSFE or Black Sheep Fiber Emporium on a public post so I can find it, and you're entered for the drawing. So anyway, I will see you all on Wednesday. Have a great start to your week. Bye.